Hey folks, this is Matt once again, and this time I talk about Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives, which is a favorite of mine. It's definitely one of my favorite Friday the 13th films, is Part 6, Jason Lives. Of course, you got Tom McLoughlin directing it. Now, Tom McLoughlin, he's going to direct some stuff, like Sometimes They Come Back. It's the Stephen King, based on a Stephen King story. What I did not know looking up is Tom McLoughlin, the director, was actually in the Disney movie The Black Hole. He doesn't have a speaking part, and you can't really see him, but if you remember The Black Hole, and you have those two robots, one voiced by Roddy McDowall and one voiced by the Slim Pickens, they have like not a shootout, but their target practice with this robot, black robot. I think it was like Star or something like that. And he's moving, and the guy in that suit is Tom McLoughlin. Weirdly enough. I'm like, oh shit. Huh. Very weird. And it's one of those things that I thought, wow, that's strange. But yeah, he's gone to direct other stuff like Date with an Angel. Um, he did a really good job with the direction in this, though, because it's one of those things where actually, he actually acted in Critters 2 as well as Church Guard. He has a small role in it, so. But it was weird, like, he was in The Black Hole, Disney movie. But he directed this film, and of course, it takes place after Part 5, and Part 5, a lot of people got pissed because there was no Jason. And they're like, okay, we're going to bring back Jason, hence Jason Lives. Now, I like Part 5, but I guess I can understand why people got mad, but I still like Part 5. But Part 6, you have the character of Tommy Jarvis coming back. Now, the guy who played him previously in Part 5, John Shepard, I thought he did a really good job. I thought he was great in Part 5. And they offered for him to come back, but that's when he was starting to see what he wanted to do with his life, maybe become a pastor. But what's nice about him, he's not the type who's like, how dare they? I mean, the guy did commentary for Friday the Part 5 with Shavar Ross and the director Danny Steinman. So he seems very cool about that. And that's very, very nice. But I think at the time it was like he would work with kids. And it's like, oh, you can't see it yet. But it's like, you know, I'm doing these R-rated films, but I'm supposed to be telling little kids, don't see this R-rated film that I'm in. But I think he went on a different path with his life. And that was cool. But it's nice that he's not, you know, thumbing his nose at the franchise. I thought that was very cool of him. That's why John Shepard is cool dude in my book. It would have been nice to see him back. I thought he did a really great job as Tommy, him and his little kung fu moves. But I thought he did a really good job. Didn't have much dialogue, but he was solid performance. But he didn't come back, so they got Tom Matthews to become Tommy Jarvis, which it was kind of weird that, you know, he was in this halfway house, but now I guess he's been let go, and he goes to Jason's grave, where he has Horshack, or Ron Palillo, I should say, or Horshack from Welcome Back, Kotter. They go to Jason's grave, and the only thing that bugged me about Jason Lives is the fact that it's Tommy's fault that Jason comes back. Like, he opens up Jason's grave and Jason's a corpse. Like, Jason is Maggot City. And he's the reason why Jason came back. So if you think about all the deaths from Part 6 on, is Tommy Jarvis's fault. It's Tom Matthews' fault. And that always bugged me. I mean, I know his whole plot was to use the gasoline and burn him, but he was dead. And, you know, since he was Corey Feldman to now, Jason has no... was not doing anything, just a copycat. So it's Tommy's fault. So that always bugged me. And it kind of not makes you want to root for Tommy Jarvis as much because it's your fucking fault, you dumb son of a bitch. So that kind of makes me not want to root for Tommy that much because it's your fucking fault. You put the damn spike in and the lightning came and Frankenstein style, he came back. But at the same time, Tom Matthews did do a good job with the role. Of course, Tom Matthews was also doing Return of the Living Dead around the same time. He's gone and worked with a lot with Albert Pune and like Nemesis, and I think like Kickboxer 4 and a lot of other stuff, Mean Guns. Um, but he absolutely does, and now you have the start of Zombie Jason, who has more supernatural strength. Jason's played by C.J. Graham. This is a guy who in real life was a Marine, so you use a lot of his Marine Corps uh, training to portray Jason. And what's great about this film, though, is the sense of humor. It's not a parody, but it has a good sense of humor. I mean, the opening, you have Jason coming out, James Bond style intro, where for the titles, he comes out like James Bond and he like throws a knife and you see blood, and then Friday the 13th, Jason lives. Those touches made the film a lot of fun. I think this film actually did better critically from then to today. I think it's a fan favorite as well because they had fun with it. And this is prior to Scream and Wes Craven's New Nightmare and stuff like that. I thought that was a nice choice. Because Jason's come back, you have some interesting kills. Like you have the little girl and the little caravan, whatever you want to call it, Winnebago, who gets her face pushed right into the wall, and you see the wall sort of her face press into the wall, leaving an impression. Bending the sheriff back in half, and bending him like he's here, and bending him so his feet's here, and now he's bent back all the way here. Well, his feet's actually here, and he's bent all the way back like a like a bone, like a chicken bone, wishbone, make a wish. Thought that was nice. Jason, cuts 3 people's heads off. Boom, boom, boom. Like you have a group of people using paint guns, and like he kills one guy, rams him into a tree, and when his face falls off the tree, it's like a smiley face. Uh, Good acting. Like I like Tom Matthews. I like the girl he meets up with, who's actually the daughter of the sheriff. Character Megan, played by this girl Jennifer Cook. She did a good job. And at least the character, he was dumbass, and then Horshack got his punched through and his heart taken out. Nice death scene. But he does do, the first thing he does is go to the cops, so he does do that, but then he gets arrested. But Jennifer Cook does great. You have the fun scene where she's sort of excited and she gets Tommy out and she's driving and she puts his head in her lap. It's like, stay down. And then she even gives a look like she's smiling. And I like that these actors are having fun with their roles. Uh, the fun stabs of dialogue, like the caretaker type guy. It's like, why would anyone, dig Jason up? And he looks at the camera. Some folks have he like looks at the camera like, some folks have a strange way of entertainment. I fucked up. It's actually, some folks have a strange idea of entertainment. Or like the girl that gets killed. There's a scene with Tony Goldwyn, who would go on and be in Ghost, and the girl he's with is actually the director's wife. And she goes like, you better get going. And Tony Goldwyn's like, why? It's like, I've seen enough movies that any guy with a mask is always trouble. And then she even offers her credit card, and then she gets killed, and you see the American Express card, And Tom McLoughlin did that purposely. So lo and behold, someone in our eyes would go, and don't leave home without it. So the Tom McLoughlin did a great job directing this. He gave it sort of a gothic, he wanted sort of a Hammer film style feel to the flick. So the atmosphere is a little bit of a gothic horror film style. Uh, CJ Graham did a fine job as Jason. Again, he did some fun kills, like the triple beheading. I know one of the people who did kill, he gets like a knife in the neck. He's actually related to John Travolta, I think. I think the guy's name is Tom Fridley. He's the nephew of John Travolta, and he gets killed. Soundtrack, you have songs by Alice Cooper, especially that awesome song. He's back, the man behind the mask, and he's out of control. He's back. He's the man. Awesome song. Definitely the best song out of the whole franchise. It's just a lot of fun. You have, I think, one of the best lines in the whole franchise. Just remember, where the red dot goes, you bang. I love that. And even in near the end, like the idea that you actually have little kids at the camp, which really this is the only Friday the 13th where it's a camp where, yeah, you don't have kids. This is the only time you actually have little kids there. And then do the smart thing. You don't see kids get killed, which you didn't need. But you have some fun where, like, these two kids are under, and one goes, so what were you going to be when you grew up? And the kid looks at him like, what the fuck? Like, and you do have some good gore as well. It is a lot of fun. I mean, again, the only problem I have is that Tommy Jarvis, you lose a little bit of sympathy for him considering he's the one who brought Jason back. But the cast do a great job. Tom Matthews and Jennifer Cook are great. CJ Graham made a solid Jason. A lot of fun with the humor, but it never got overboard like Hatchet. Well, I'm not a fan of Hatchet because that humor was more like comedy. It just got annoying. But this one, the humor was fun. I mean, Jason doing the James Bond, killing the guy and his face goes down. You have the smiley face. The lines like, where the red dot goes, you bang. Uh, the American Express card stuff. That was a lot of fun. The little bits of dialogue. They knew they were making a part 6, and they had fun with it, and I appreciate that. Tom McLoughlin did a solid job directing. Uh, the ending, definitely a memorable ending where Tom Matthews, Tom was like, come on, chicken shit, come on. And gets Jason to the lake and puts the chains around his neck and puts the boulder, and Megan saves Tommy, and Jason is now trapped there in the lake until part 7. And again, that great song from Alice Cooper, he's back, the man behind the mask. Awesome song, love that song very much. Just a lot of fun. I mean, I don't know what more I can say about it. Yeah, good death scenes. I mean, even Jason becomes like a little ninja, throwing knives, boom, right into people's heads. Good gore. This film definitely has more gore than part 7. So you still have some of the gore intact. Cool ending. Has a lot of fun. Has a good sense of humor to it. And a great job with the acting. I know, like, some of the cast from Part 5 were going to come back for Part 6, but they sort of wanted to... They kind of sort of wanted to make you believe that Part 5 didn't exist, in a way, sort of. And they were going to have, like, the Pam and the little kid Reggie from Part 5 back, and they were going to die in the opening credits. And they didn't... They said, fuck that, just didn't do it. And I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm missing. It didn't really go too much with the MPAA, but you know, especially not like Part 7. But overall, very solid film. Definitely one of my favorites. Good sense of humor. Very, very capable direction. Zombie Jason. Yeah, some interesting kills. Just a lot of fun. Part 6, Jason Lives. Just a lot of fun. Very, very solid installment. Definitely one of my favorites. But anyway, that's Friday the 13th, Part 6. Jason Lives. 2 thumbs up, however you want to call it. Awesome installment. Awesome sequel. So anyway, thanks for watching, and take care. Later.